Okay, so that's fine. Now share. I see. I could share screen.
I think you need to click on me and make me maybe make me host, I think.
Okay, let me see. Gosh. I hear participants. Let me see. Okay, and then more. Ask to start video. Make host. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
I can share now. So I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully you should see like a website, more labs with a couple of pie charts.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a good place to start. So there's two parts to the system that I have. I've got a website side of things where you can view dashboards, view all your patients that are in flight, that are currently in the clinic, view all patients, and then basically add a patient as well. So this is something that would be used by likes of your third parties, people bringing in tests into you. So this is what I've created for them. So this, for example, is a travel agents.
Yeah.
You could have pharmacies or third-party organizations calling into you. So I can show you how to set these up from the system, but ultimately, we're adding a patient, this is through the web portal. Ultimately, it calls an API. So whether it's this website or you want to call it from your website or integrate some other way, it's calling an API. So I'll go off here and I'll type in some details. I'll type in my brother's name this time. Oh, sorry. And this is how sort of details come about. So it's 12. Let's get the proper date of birth. 1978. Let's just type anything in here and an email. I'll do confirm email. What's going on here? 1 second. And then we've got a passport number, which will be that. A swab date time. Yep, today, 2021, isn't it? Yeah, and say we did the swab test at 10:30. So this is how patients will land into the system when you select gender. So this is a front end I've created for them. URN number already exists. It says, oh, not in the correct format here. Let's stick on one in there at the end. It's 5 digits as floors. And ultimately, these pages are calling APIs, which will ultimately land into the system. Mm-hmm. So the system, which is here is the this is what we're using in clinic. So what this is obviously for Ocean Clinic. They've got their logo and everything. This is the organization that'll send those requests. You can obviously view and edit details as you wish. The test for release information, where it is in the workflow, what it is, all the details for. So basically, I want to go through just what you do with the system. So all the patients that get registered online land on this registration workflow screen.
Okay.
So then you could choose to say, okay, you know what, that patient, I want to. I'm the staff member for auditing purposes. I'm going to go off and move it to received. I'm going to move it to say that I've actually received the physical test in the clinic. So ignoring the rest of the information about test schedules and batch numbers and tag numbers, just move to received. What that will do is that will actually ultimately send an email to the patient. Let's see if I've got that open somewhere. If I do it here, because I think I put my email on there. So if I bring this onto this screen here, you can see that Gulag by date of birth. This is the email that gets sent out from more labs to say that we've received a sample. It's with us. So an email notifications are sent to keep the patient updated as to what's going on. So the patient's now in clinic. And what we do here is this is a screen where so I've designed this for Roshni Clinic. They want to know who to choose. They want to know who to move to the lab. They want to control over that rather than. So they normally do that for people who pay most, depending on maybe the organization, the travel agents, they give certain priorities to certain people. So this is the screen where they can actually go off and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to give these guys priority. I'm going to move that to the lab. Once they're in the lab, we've got the patient there. We've got this thing called batch numbers. So, you can say all these patients I can do a maximum of 96 on the German machine. So I'm going to put all of these patients into batch 1, including Golagba.
Okay, now I have a question. So basically, when they receive the vial, they're going to have to scan it.
Yes.
And what screen are they going to see? Like, what are they going to see if they scan your barcode?
So you can hit the scan button here and scan the barcode. What they will see is they will see a list of options. I don't have the scanner with me at the moment just yet, but suppose I have this patient open here. They'll either see this information if they want to see this screen, or they will have the option to send in. I'm just thinking of the best way to show you this without scanner. When you scan the barcode in, it'll automatically bring the patient details up, and then it'll pre-select it in this on this screen, so you can choose what you want to do with it at that stage. So you've got all the details there just by a single scan.
Can we have it that when you scan it, it automatically goes to the lab?
Yes, so I will show you that through the pooling side of things.
Okay.
So the pooling, this is on registration. You can say, okay, move it to the clinic or move it to the lab. Assign it a batch number as well, because I know, and obviously I'm doing the thing for demo purposes. I've got my name on there. So then at this stage, you can actually assign it well numbers as well. So A1, A2, A3, and so on, which I was about to show you actually. So this is a German product. They've got 96, so 12 by all the way A to H. So in the lab, you can actually at this stage assign it well numbers, and you can say this is A1, move down to A2, and or whatever. You might have different coding. You might have like every well number might be like a different number, so you can do a 4, 5, 6, whatever, and ultimately these will be assigned well numbers. So the sample is put into into the well numbers, or 96 is the highest, isn't it? So yeah, so these are assigned well numbers, and this is how you link the patient's sample test drop into the actual well number itself.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've got this stage, the technician's got all the information they need to go on batch. I've got all these numbers. I've got A1, A2, A3, and so on. I've got all that recorded. I can just take a sample of each of these tests from the vials, and put onto the well number. Drop into the well with the reagents, and then do the test. So the whole time that's happening, it's in the lab basically. And it's at that stage where they might come back and they might say, okay, they've put all the 17 tests in this case, they've all gone in and they've all come out, negative, for example, or one of them has come positive. So easy way to do that is to mark everything as negative. Everything is negative apart from one of them that turned out to be positive or inconclusive. I mean, people have got different terminologies for these, but inconclusive is because of something wrong with the test kit or something wrong with the sample or whatever. And at this stage, they've got all the results. The key part of this tab is all the results that are signed. And you can have different batches. Obviously, you can have batch 1, batch 2 could be prepared whilst batch 1 is in process, and so on. And so at this stage, you can actually go, okay, for every patient, what I want to do is I want to go off and do a batch process and just say move to completed. So, we've done with this. Or you can actually send off the details, mark set the results up here, change batch numbers. And at this stage, you can mark as completed, or select them all and say, all of this batch has been done, and I'm going to mark as move to completed, and it'll say you want to move 16 patients across. In the notification, so the drop down into each of these different workflow screens, and you can see I'm in there as well with the negative test results, including the inconclusive and the positive ones that we set. At this stage, you can mark as completed. So the the patient will be moved to the completed screen. Nothing needs to be done there. Or you can email the certificate. Certificate can be emailed to the patients and to the organisation. So, for example, if the pharmacy was registered in the system, they could have a copy of the email sent to them, the certificate, as well, also the patient as well. So what I want to do here is, I'm going to say move this record, this Gulak bar. Say again. So I'll go through. That's a good point, actually. So we've got templates assigned to these. There's a default template assigned to all the organizations. So what I'm doing is I'm saying send these, move to completed. What that will do is I'm saying open the generate certificate. This is optional just for viewing sake. So if I click OK there, I get a copy of certificate printed to me saying this is what was going to be sent to the patient. So it's got my logo on there, details, the passport number, there we go, and just details of what the test result was, a QR code. Yeah, and obviously the key part is that it's negative. That's
Right.
what they want to see. This is the fit to fly certificate. Here's your, if you scan that in, that will actually give you, if you scan the code in here, that will actually give you a URL to this certificate itself. So it gives you that authenticity to, you know, to whoever scans in, say at the airport or whatever, they can come in, they can go into the, they can view the certificate online through the, well, I'm running this locally at the moment on my local machine, but it'll be the Roshni Clinic or more labs or the 001 doctors. It'll go to their website and show the certificate as it is there. So they've got a bit of authenticity in that certificate. So what I've done there is effectively completed that. It's all done that. It's opened the certificate for me. It's sent an email out to both, and I can quickly show you the certificate that is sent me, which is here. So, oh yes, put this in here. It's a good idea. So here's a certificate. Your your test was negative. Here's your certificate. This is what gets emailed to the patient. Obviously, I've got the patient email address is my email address. So I'm getting the email here. So Roshni Clinic have sent me that certificate. There's the details. There's everything else I need to know. So I can close this off, and that patient will actually move to completed. So there's nothing really to be done for that patient anymore, and they'll be in the completed list. So I can again email certificate again, but I know that that patient has been in there. They've had a PCR test for the same day because they chose to pick them. That's the RC number and so on. You can email that again, which brings up the same screen, but obviously you can't move to completed. So that's just the general workflow for a particular sort of patient, single step. Just the more advanced functionality, obviously you've got the, you know, you got the filter facilities. You've got this assign batch. So this is quite a key. This is something why I expect most people to use, which they use at Roshni Clinic as well. This is the well number. So this is how they've got 96, I think it is. And basically what you do is you tell the system what you want it to do, assign it a batch number, tell it who's doing it, and you want to move it to the lab once you've completed the screen. So you will move it to the clinic and move it to the lab so it's ready for lab testing, and you click on the first item and you start scanning away, and it just moves from one to the next with the RC numbers of the test you are selecting.
So this would be the barcode on the test. That would be
exactly, this is the barcode. So you're scanning barcodes. That's all you're doing, and it's putting the barcode number into the. I wish I could show you this. I've got another video of this because I'm running in an RDP session on a MacBook. It doesn't let me. The scanner doesn't work with a MacBook for some reason. So I can send you a video of how this screen works, and basically you just go to the next screen. You're just scanning away.
And I know that they do. I mean, I don't have any lab background, to be honest, but I know that they do pooling. I'm assuming this would work with that as well, right? So
exactly, yes.
96, I believe, times 3, right?
96 times 3. Some people do 96 times 4. Bilal does 96 times 2. So basically what you do with the pooling is check that checkbox. So what that does is allows you to put 2 items. So Bilal wants 2 items in each well. So what that means is if any of them are positive,
then you have to run it again.
And what the system will do is when any of those are positive, I've got nothing there at the moment. If I just move a few to the lab, you can do individually or by batch. If the results are positive for suppose the top two were in the same well.
Right.
If the result is positive for any of them, the system won't let you progress. I've got a separate demo. This is more advanced functionality for the pooling side of things. So if any of the, so maybe because Bilal does 2 at a time. So if any of the two are positive, both those are marked as red. Basically, we cannot progress them further. And the next time you go to registration and assign tag, those two will have their own individual well numbers. So it'll start from there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they cannot share a well anymore. And the P defined in the first two, or however many positives you've got. So yeah, it's really at this stage, you're just scanning away. And I've got a video to show this, so I can send you that through on WhatsApp or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so far. So this is just a bit more of the advanced functionality. Obviously, we've got the clear barcode. So the system's got an inbuilt. Let me see if that even works. So it starts off with a particular RC number. So RC in this case is Roshni Clinic, and that's the number they've chosen as a starting.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, so for expert doctors, we've got ED, and then the number, different clinics have different. We can put in whatever we want in there really as a starter prefix to that. So we could say maybe, okay, give me 5. Yeah, let's generate 5 more. So 2 is there, and then I'll go off and generate the next 5. We can go print them off. So that's going off to the printer, and it's asking me for password because ignore that. Let's pretend I didn't do that. And obviously the next 2 are generated will be after 7, so 8 and 9, and so on. So it's got the number, it knows what to generate. And these are barcodes that are generated on label printer. Again, I've got a video actually of a label printer printing stuff off, but this is common stuff with
So it's never going to produce the same barcode twice, and this is what they add on to the kits before.
Absolutely. And also not just that, there's a number of copies. They've printed out 3 copies, one for the test tube itself, one for the leaflet, and one for the packet.
Mm-hmm.
This is bespoke, specific to Roshni Clinic. This is what they require. So they have a label on the test tube, which I recommend. A label on the test tube would really help when you come to doing something like this.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Can,
so, I mean, we're just planning to have one label on the test tube. I don't know.
Right. I think from Roshni's side of things, because they've allowed patients to register here, and this is the RC number, this is the barcode number. They've chosen to have the barcode on in a few different places basically, but ultimately it's your choice. You've got a predefined where's the barcode? We've got a predefined number, so just change it to 1, or we can default it to 1. Choose your barcode printer, and the reprint options there in case your printer messes up midway through or something. So as we've said, there's register patient also on the system itself. So this is the in-house, and let me minimize this so I'm not getting confused. This is the in-clinic system, so you can register the system, the test for release information, the test information as well for the barcode, whether it's same day, 24 hours, and so on. The swab when it was clicked, if it's linked to an organization, for example, a travel agent or so, or a pharmacy. Antigen test or PCR test. It doesn't make a difference from a system point of view what type of test it is. Passport number and some extra information about the patient there. Obviously, search functionalities there, different, it's just bit bolts on, and then you can view details for the patients. So you want to email them or phone number, whatever, and so on. You got the clear barcode, which you've seen. Now management. So there's 2 types of management. There's one for staff and one for organizations. So the minute I add a organization into this, so I've got another clinic, for example, I've got a pharmacy. So I don't know. Back-end pharmacy have decided to join and take or send you some tests. I'm just going to add any dummy email, any dummy thing, and any dummy thing. So these are not really used only for thing. If I save that organization has been added, the back-end pharmacy, if I give them a password or generate one for them, they will automatically now at this stage have access to log in to the, in fact, do I give this a better name? If I save that, So I added it in again. So yes, I should have edited rather than adding another one in. But anyway, I've got an organization here, background at Gmail, and they have a password. So they're okay now. I can actually go in. Hopefully that'll let me log into them. So the portal automatically allow them to log in once this has been added. So backend@gmail.com. Oh. It's the problem with having a MacBook and a Windows machine. Password, and that's them. I'll save anyway. So they've got no patients, and yeah, you've got the background. So welcome. This is your details. You've got nothing to your name yet. Add a patient in, and that will land in the system in the registration. Obviously, registration is one thing, but receiving the physical test kit is actually when you know it's in the clinic and you can actually do something with it. So just on this in itself, I'm just going to add something in. Let's copy and paste that. I just had myself in, it's easier. 21st, 12, 1980. Yes, I'm old.
Oh, that's your real birthday?
Yeah, it's easier to write rather than 09. So this is, so I did the test today in the morning at 10:21. Submit that. The URN number is not in the correct format. Of course, it's got an extra. Yeah, the URN's unique reference number is different to every organization.
Right.
So we'd have to somehow like generate. So that patient's been added. Ultimately, go into registration. The patient's been added. Go like under background pharmacy. You can view here. Background pharmacy has been added in. It goes through the same process, but ultimately the email gets sent. When you choose the email, it'll get sent to the patient and the pharmacy, the organization we're calling it at this stage. So that's what organization is. Basically adding an entry in here, you've actually given access. Once you've assigned a password, you've actually given access online through the online portal to access their patients only, and they'll have obviously their dashboards, one patient, and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. So if I minimize that again, so that's the organization. User side of things, this is more for auditing purposes, because what Bilal wanted was, I just wanted a system just to log in without a login. Just he knows these systems are controlled by IP addresses, so I know that no one else can run this from any other place that's controlled. So he said, I don't want the headache of typing a username and password in, but that is an option. And what that means is just double clicks the COVID system application and he launches this. Mm-hmm. But what he does want at the same time is he does want to have some sort of like auditing in terms of who actually received that. So this will be his list of staff that have actually received, or receptionists or someone. And that's the whole purpose of this staff. You can add one in easily, you can remove and so on. The reporting side of things, I think this is the next key one, of which I think the PHE report's the key one. So let's generate one from August. I think let's see what the system generates. So what effectively does is ask you where to save it and save. I'll call this Abraham. I'll say it by your name. I'll save that, and it's hit some breakpoints which I didn't want it to do, but regardless, value cannot be null. Okay, I've not got the certificates in there. I've not uploaded the PHE template. I just knocked this up this afternoon. I can show you on a live system. This is recorded in last day data as well, so probably won't do that. But ultimately, is the template. Let's see if I've got one here. Yeah, good idea. Actually, there's other reports in there we can look at, but I don't know if the PHE reports or they're just. So I don't know which of these are PHE reports. Here's the CSV. So here's, I think this is a, and I need to register my thing. So this is a PHE report that's been generated previously. You've obviously no details in there, but all the information, patient phonemes, and so this is what effectively sent back to Public Health England with the patient details. So on that date range that I selected here, it'd be nice if I could show you this. This 53. This one would not work. This is just a different report. One of the different reports that you can get from the system. I think it's these binary worksheets of both the same 53K. This one's got something in there. Yeah, this is what we're getting. Come inside. So this is what we're seeing effectively. This is what the PHE report is. There's stuff around the day 2, day 8 needs to be put in there. I'm still waiting on that. Some confirmation I need from Bilal. But you got your RC number. You got obviously all the different kinds of information in there. The test was negative, and this is ultimately what you would send. And Bilal send this manually to the he just emails it basically.
So he sends it manually?
He sends it manually every day. Now, he's got, there's an email address. He wants me to do some work on this to send this automatically.
Right.
Which is to be honest.
Yeah, they accept emails, but there's you have to create some sort of key. I don't have any IT background, but something like creating some sort of key and then sending it through a secure
channel. Yes, that's outstanding at the moment. At the moment, he said, I need this report. He needs to get up and running. It's a sort of incremental release, this sort of stuff that I'm working on. So he said, I've got bigger priorities. He goes, yes, this is important, but I can just email them for now, and that's enough for me. So that is outstanding. Yes, that bit of work where this is automatic email to them every day through the system. It doesn't even need them to click any buttons really. It'll just get done automatically overnight job.
Right.
So that's I think
it's just through the secure email, basically.
Yes, it's just secure email at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Just another quick point, actually. We just got an error generated from this because we couldn't find the template. Now, all errors are generated and sent to me, so I can see if there's something I can do to solve your problems even before you even report them to me on my team. So there's other sort of stuff you can get, all sorts of other reports. When was swabs taken? Organization counts, obviously, Barclays and Pharmacy have sent one, JK Travels have sent another 32. You can find out who your best customers are. Also send stuff to them, discounts and whatnot, so you can do all that kind of stuff in terms of if you go management and tick on JK Travels, this is your more popular one. You can send them. This is more to do with the billing side of things, so how much you charge them at the end of the day for each test. So a standard one was I don't know, 150 because they're your best customers, and the emergency one is £200. So that kind of stuff will be taken into account. Of these are not your popular ones, so you'll charge them, the standard rates. And that kind of stuff's built into the billing side of things, which I can go on to show you a bit now, but like I said, there's no data in there for now. But just back on the reporting side of things, yep, organization reports is pending. Full reports, let's generate some, let's see what it's like. So this gives you all the information about all the patients in the system. So if you wanted a local copy, I'll just call it a local copy of all the stuff that's in the system that I've kept. Obviously, it's going to break again because I haven't got the stuff ready. So let's ignore that. Yeah, I did show you. There's another example of this. Let me stop and start this again. I've got it running in debug rather than. How's it gone? Yeah, one of the other reports was a full one, wasn't it? Yeah. If I go back to the folder, it'll save them to this your C drive and COVID, and yeah, I think it's called full. So this is all the information that I have about any of the patients anywhere in the system, and I can't for some reason expand these. I don't know why. But yeah, all the information there, the date time of whatever that was, the date time the result was created. So yep, on the 1st of 2021 at 13:52, negative, and so on. The date time, the was sent to the lab. The daytime the swab was taken, so that's obviously entered by the patient. What have we got here? Daytime received. When did we receive the actual test in the lab? Yeah, it was taken, it was done, it was registered on the system, but when it was actually received, so that kind of stuff. So you got all the information that the system holds about all the tests here over a particular date, because that's what this gives you. You can say, give me all the reports, the full report, everything the system holds between these two dates, and that will generate it for you. I think the only bit is the billing side of things, which I can try. I'm not sure if I've got this.
I don't think we're going to be using your system for billing because
Yes, that was another thing. So this is additional stuff. So this will probably be grayed out for you. You probably won't see this option at all. This is specific to like say Bilal. He wanted a specific way of in one place basically. He wanted all this all the reports and billing side of things. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, they're the key components of the system. You got the
audit trail.
So audit trail is currently in the system, but not viewable on the front end. So I have logs of all the requests that have come in through the website from all the IP addresses. I have all the changes that have been made to a particular test when the name was changed, when it was. In fact, I thought I had it in here. I thought it was coming. It's coming. Audit trail. So here you should be able to see, what it went through. I think in an earlier version I did have like a nice diagram. I showed you what was going on when it was registered, when it was received, and so on. Also with information as to who did what online or in clinic, into a system through the website, and so on. All that kind of stuff. It is audited. That's one of the key requirements for it to be PHE approved, to be honest. And when I went through that, with the guys in the clinic and said, "This is what it is. It's there, but it's not on the front end." So I can view all the requests that have come into the website.
But if the audit trail needs to be accessed and submitted, we would be able to do that.
Yes, that's just another feature. This is an application that's running, that's being worked on whilst it's being used. The audit trails is just prioritization now, really. Audit trails, day 2, day 8. Let me see if I can show you with the, I think I've got to open this one, haven't I? Is it this one? No, let's close that one off. Close that one. Let's have a look. Projects. Yeah, there's a number of changes that are coming in that have been worked on at the moment as well, especially for the day 2, day 8, which is quite crucial. Just finishing that off. There's stuff required by Bilal around the ordering system. So he wants to, obviously through the system, you can order test kits, and he wants this to sort of come through. So obviously the pharmacies will say, send me 150 test kits, because I'm going to need to keep them with me and then hand them out to patients or travelers or whatever. So there's that kind of stuff which Bilal wants, which is in the backlog. But it's a case of juggling act, really, about auditing some of the key things that are important: orders, day 2, day 8 stuff, the day 5 stuff, text messaging. Someone wants text messaging to come into play, so they can receive a text to see on the website. They can see in progress. They can see what's going on. So obviously, Gul Akbar is in progress at the moment. We've got no details logged against them. I've logged into the wrong org because this org doesn't have much. So yeah, it's stuff like that. I think this is the other org. All patients, they can see their progress. So this patient's obviously had their test done. This is what we did earlier. The test was negative. So it is prioritization, really. You can view the certificate from the portal. So the pharmacists, the travel agents, they can see the same report as and when it's registered in the system, as when the test results is registered. So this was just a bit earlier on today.
Now you mentioned that the equipment won't be
integrated with, yeah.
So how does that work?
So the reason for that is I haven't integrated this with the lab system because I've got 3 customers at the moment: Roshni Clinic, more labs, and 001 doctors. Now they use different equipment, and what they do have is they've said we don't mind manually entering some data in here.
Right.
You know, some of them use the pooling system, and some of them said, okay, you know what, we don't mind. You know, this can be batch 1, and we don't mind that. Or they might have a different. You know, they might call it 01, 02, and so on. So for that purpose, I've not linked this with a sim with the machine itself, just because there's differences in how they operate, basically. Ultimately, that information is for auditing. That is not printed on certificates. That is more for, you know, I'm going to do this in a second, but just for the organization of, you know, for the staff to see, basically. So in the second batch, I'm going to put this patient in, this RC number, this more information purposes. So for that, I wanted to decouple the system from my system from the testing system, if that makes sense.
I'm just curious. So, okay, so they run the test, they get the results, but they're not integrated. So how does it? How does?
Yes. So at the end of the day, the technician would view the results on the machine that they're using.
Yeah.
Click the batch. I would say this is the easiest way to do it. Click the batch, right click, and say the result was all negative apart from 1. So they'll click negative, and then they can go from specific. I mean, to be honest, most of the tests, based on my knowledge and data that I've seen, is
Yeah.
negative. So then they can go off and say, okay, the easiest way to do is all that is negative, but you know that test was actually positive, and that test was actually positive. So it's an easy thing to go off and mark the results as positive this way, and the certificates will be marked as such, and you can complete these items. You know, you can move them to complete them once they're done, also, and so on. So that step around putting into the machine and assigning it a well number, so you know what's what, so it correlates to what you have in the system, and the results, which most of the time are negative, and that a few occasions where it's inconclusive, indeterminate, or obviously positive, you can go from mark those individual items. That's easier. The easiest option is to mark it that way.
Okay.
So it's a batch processing, and then you've got your individual positive and, you know, inconclusive in that case if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, and this is the best way for me and all my clients, in the sense that it's not integrated into an actual specific machine. The guys at Roshni Clinic use the German machine. I think there's a few, I don't know which one you guys use, but there's a few the German producers. I can't remember the names, but yeah, this is what illness does to you. You forget things. But they use different machines, and they've got similar concepts but different terminologies.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I wanted the system to incorporate both without you know, being too bespoke for that. Otherwise, it's pretty much not usable for anyone else. But ultimately, the goal is you've got something in structure. You know how to reference the well numbers with the actual test in the system. You know how everything links together, and you know that the system can obviously take patients in from online or through the system and produce results. You know, certificates, SMS, emails, and so on. The SMS bit is actually coming in soon, but the emails and the viewing the reports and stuff for the organization, all that's in there, which is more important to them. And they've got audit of all this as well, which is in the system. I mean, you're from a tech background, aren't you? So
Not really. But,
oh, okay. I was going to show you some tables where all this is audited and stuff. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, it's all
the BioRad machine.
okay. All right. Okay, the BioRed. Okay, that's cool. I'm making on that because yeah, I think this is the first I've heard of that one. To be honest, I've not heard of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just some other stuff. There's backups going on, so all that database that you're punching all your patients into is being backed up on a regular basis. So every few minutes is backed up, tells you when it's last run. So a few minutes ago, tells you what COVID tests were backed up, even though it's just information, and it's backed up onto 3 different machines. So you've got GA systems, you've got gulakbar.com. So these are all my servers that I run, and you've got my local machine, which all these tests are backed up onto. So you're not losing any data, which is for me is key. That is something obviously crucial for me. And that's running on my machines. It's running all the time. It runs every 5 minutes and then slows down at night time because there's little activity. Although when you get stuff coming in from the day 2, day 8 stuff, when people are registering through from different countries, that can still obviously come. So it does run throughout the night. 1 second. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah. So one of these, when we're backing up locally, I also have a copy of your data. Just to me, data is most important. The application can go here and there, but the local backup here, that's my local machine on local data center. Exactly. That's right. So I've got your data. This is what's been changed. You synchronize all your COVID tests, your patients. Obviously there's billing stuff from staff and users and documents that people might put in there. I don't want to go into too much detail. It might be too much, but what you can do for a particular organization is you might want a different certificate, for example. I mean, the certificates we're seeing here are all the same. They've all got more labs. You might have an organization that is a subset, but it's one of your biggest organizations. They want their own logo printed on top of it. So if that was the case, JK Travels, for example, they can send you the PDF. You can upload it. Upload the PDF file, the certificate, and get put into the system. Oops. Anytime now they request their patients, which are obviously all these are their patients, their certificates. It will be printed with their template. So these are additional stuff that are probably worth mentioning. I think if you wanted to give a bit more bespoke functionality to your, these are the people that bring the tests in ultimately, and these are the people that have the access through the web portal. So yeah, that's I think the crux of it, without confusion or without talking about stuff you don't need to. That is the crux of it, really.
Okay, now you might be repeating a little bit, but I'm just trying to get it all straight in my head.
That's fine.
Okay, so the person is going to purchase the test on our website, right?
That's right.
And the information is going to be uploaded via API to your LIMS system. Okay.
That's right.
Then they're going to get a kit. Now they're going to have to register their kit.
Yes.
Where does that happen?
So yes, very good point. So at the moment, this more labs is more for organizations. So if I go to Roshni Clinic, they have a place where you can actually go off and register your kit online. So ultimately, you're calling the same APIs as this was calling. So this is here, but without the organization tag linked to it. So when they go off and they want to register, I think they can go off. Oh, I forget this. Register PCR kit, and this is exactly the same screen as you can see. It's very similar. They've got their postcode, address, passport number, data swab, and they'll click send, and that will get sent through to the system. This is through the website, so that will get registered. They'll send it through the system, and that will land in here, but without an organization. Obviously, the patient or the traveler has sent the test in themselves. They register the test themselves rather than going through like a travel agent or something.
Okay, so let's use them as an example because it's a functioning system.
Yeah.
So when someone purchases on their website, are they entering their passport information and everything, or they're just purchasing a kit and that's it? And then they register it all at a later date?
So there's two models. Obviously, one is where you can enter everything in, and then the second bit where we come in to register your kit, you can bring that information back. The Roshni Clinic are using the second model, which is basically you register, you buy the kit, which is I want to buy it for for 5 patients or 1 patient. You buy the kit and then you register your kit with your passport number and everything here at this stage of registration.
But what about the booking reference number? When do they get that?
booking reference number is more for day 2, day 8, isn't it?
I believe so.
That's right. Yes. So booking reference that is more day 2, day 8. That is a separate part of the system altogether. This is when they need to enter their vessel number and the flight number and all that kind of stuff. Again, there's 2 models here, but you can book your day 2. We're going into, I've not really discussed this because I'm still working on this, the day 2, day 8 part, but I'm talking about regular PCR tests for going out of the country. So here you've got this is the day 2, day 8, just a quick overview. You might want to do a day 2 and day 8. This is the norm. You might want to do it for 1 person. You click next. These will eventually land into the system as well, which I've not been through yet. You choose where you're coming from. Afghanistan seems to be the most popular place these days. Second of thingy, and then your flight or vessel number or so on. You enter your information in, who is traveling. There's only 1 traveler, so there's got 1 traveler details, ethnicity, status, passport number. This is what it comes in. You can have a look at this through the Roshni website, to be honest, and the payment details are then after you've entered your delivery address. These are where the test kits will be delivered to you at this address, because you're traveling from Afghanistan to UK through this flight number of, I don't know, BA, whatever, 1, 2, 3. You're traveling in that on that flight number. You come in, you're not transitioning through any other countries or whatever. You're going to get the test kit delivered to you to this address here. Right. After you made your payment, and these will land, like I said, there's a separate section for this which is currently in progress, and that's why it's sort of hidden under a different menu in the day 2, day 8 booking reference numbers. Mm-hmm. And obviously the day 2, day 8 tests are very different from the PCR tests. The reagents that's used is a bit more powerful, a bit more stronger, slightly different. Mm-hmm. Slightly more concentrated, so we can't mix the day 2, day 8. So it goes through the same workflow. You register online, you drop into the clinic, the lab carries out the test, the notification gets sent out, but there's no certificates as such for day 2, day 8 because you're not going anywhere, you're coming back. So there's just a case of just an email to say your test was negative on day 2, your test was negative on day 8. So it's slightly different, the same workflow, but slightly different information. Mm-hmm. And we can't mix the 2 up. So we can't, even with the pooling side of things, we can't mix the 2 up together because the different reagents used. Yeah, that, by the way. Yes. So this is just like say stuff that's coming in, and with the day 2, day 8, it's a separate, same workflow but different process. If that makes sense. Okay. So yes, this is registering. So I think what you were talking about is day 2, day 8 stuff coming back into the country. The PCR testing is going out of the country, which is where you need a certificate to show the airports and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, technically speaking, is your team up and running yet, or it's still?
Good first. Yes. So, like I said, I've had Willie with me all day, all weekend as well. I think he's sick of it, to be honest. But he's laughing now. Yeah, we are up to speed. I think. It's just like I said, I had a bit of a hit in the hospital, just something that you just don't expect is. So yeah, the team is up and running. We can support you with the software, the website, the APIs as well. So if you do not like, if you don't like the website or whatever, you can choose your own and create your own and call APIs. I don't know if you've seen Postman or whatever. I'm just going to show you so you can pump things into the system through through any sort of API calls, whatever language or whatever. So ultimately, this is what's coming through for adding a patient, as long as you're passing information through to us with a specific authorization key, so we know it's genuinely you guys. I don't have a problem. That will land into the system, no problem with those details, whether it's a website, adding it in, or an API call. So obviously, we can work with that. We can work with you on that.
You made the Roshni Clinic website?
So the Roshni Clinic website was not made by me, but the forms were linked by me. If that makes sense. So I'm not a designer. I don't do this stuff. This is not my area. I think it's a WordPress site. Bilal had someone else design the website, but the forms, the functionality side of things is calling my APIs. Well, the key parts, the PCR test, the day 2, day 8, and the registration. I mean, I think the rest of this is just information and other sort of facilities and stuff, that services they offer, like Botox or whatever else they do. But they're currently only really like focusing on the PCR test. And sort of from here, I take over. That's the information I capture.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, at this stage, we can say, yes, this is day 2, day 8. So this is all my stuff. This is coming in. The flight number BA21 or whatever, where you're coming from, your departure dates, any places you're going traveling through, and all that kind of stuff. The standard PHE report fields that are required are on this form here, the NHS number and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna have to review all this with the lab manager.
Okay.
Would we be able to meet again tomorrow? It doesn't have to be with you, but anybody that could basically go over it with the lab manager. More on the lab part of it, the testing and the all that stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, you've got this recorded, haven't you? So I
Yes.
don't want to go through all that again, but like I said, specifically this area where it's sort of the lab, where all the tests are in the lab, and you're assigning batch numbers and results. These are the key fields for the lab, and I can go through that with you, not a problem.
Mhm.
On whether we want to do the day 2, sorry, not the day 2, the batch processing, the pooling, that kind of stuff. That's all the lab functionality. It's just an easier way to assign, just like scanning barcodes and assigning test samples to well numbers and so on. So
Mhm.
I can go through that with you. But like I say, the rest of the system, yeah, you've got a recording of it anyway, so you can show that to
Sure.
whoever's
I have
interested.
another question. Does your system recognize the status of a country based on, like, if someone enters Afghanistan, would your system know if it's red, amber, or green?
I see what you mean. No, not at the moment. No, because it's not been at the moment. It's not been a priority for any of my current customers. They know they're not getting any customers from that region, so they've not really requested it. They said, okay, maybe for stats or whatever, but my system doesn't do anything like that. It doesn't. There's no way to pull that information out from at the moment, I don't think.
Hmm.
And they don't need it, so it
Well,
doesn't.
I think it's for reporting. You have to enter if it's from a red country, a amber country, or a green country. So basically, I'm assuming that they're just doing it manually.
Yeah, I think so. So all it is for the reporting side of things, if I can open one, they just need to know what country and code they're coming from. The PHE side of things, they work out whether it's a red or amber country.
Ah, so the PhD doesn't.
So really,
The lab
yeah,
that has
here,
to do it?
say that again, sorry.
I thought it was the lab that had to submit it to them. What if it's amber, green, or red?
No, I think it's the I think it's no, I think it's the actual then send it back. They'll work out it's an amber country. I think it's not the system because things keep changing. And
Right.
public health England are aware, but obviously clinics are not aware.
Hmm.
So I think it's as long as they send it back saying, okay, here they'll know. And if it's a red list country, they're not going to get any customers from that side anyway. So um, yeah, that side of things I think is managed by the PHE side of things.
Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, so I'll have to digest all this.
Yeah, sorry, a bit too much. Might be too much
Well,
information, but
I- I'm glad you're throwing it at me. Is there any dummy thing that I could log into, play around, click around, or
yeah. This is what I was talking to the team about. Basically, I want to give you a copy of this. Basically, this thing here.
yeah?
I want to give you a copy of this. Obviously, the website is going to be available through, like a test URL or whatever. But this system I wanted to, and what I've been through there with all these dummy patients. These are all dummy patients, by the way. I won't be showing real patients.
Yeah.
So these patients, you can have a play around with or send patients in, give your own, RC number or DOC or whatever, that kind of stuff. I wanted to open it up a little bit for like a little playground area.
Sure.
But I've not got around to that. Like I say, I've been off for a couple of weeks or so.
Hmm.
It's coming to my 3rd week now. I've been away, and I wanted to get these things. I've got a big backlog. I'll just show us. I've got a big backlog of stuff that I need to do, just so that you're aware. But yeah, go back to, oops, wrong one. Yeah. So there's loads of stuff going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But the key for me, the key thing is to get people up and running, clinics up and running, so they can actually do their day-to-day tasks.
Right.
You know, yeah, like Bilal was doing 20 tests a day at one stage, and now, you know, he's doing at least 200 plus. And because he can, you know, he's not manually writing certificates or sending out emails and so on, because this is all seamless through the application.
Right.
You don't even know when you move to receive that patient's already got an email to say their details have been received into the system. So it's happening seamlessly in the background. Maybe something I need to show you guys, or maybe some of you guys need to run with a test patient or something, so you can see exactly what notifications you get and whatnot. But I think, yeah, there's a lot that's in the system that's made it simpler. So without obviously error prone, all those error prone issues just go away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as you said, I mean, it's recorded. I'm going to review it. I'm going to send it to the lab manager. So you're saying tomorrow, whether it's you or someone else, someone will be able to have a chat with the lab manager?
Yeah, sure, I can do it. Again, like I said, let's do the same time. If you can get a Zoom call up and running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it this recording? A few people have asked for this. Would it be okay to ask you if you can share the recording with me as well, if that's okay?
Of course, of course.
Yeah, because a lot of people have asked me about this, as you can imagine, and it'd be easy for me just to share it with everyone.
All
If
right.
you don't mind, that is.
No, I don't mind at all. So yeah,
Perfect.
I'm going to send it to you and to him. And
Perfect.
perfect. So we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch tomorrow, same time.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. That's absolutely fine. Thank you for that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
No problems.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.